right, and we're back. This is episode 152 of the Taproom Podcast, and I'm your host, Mike. Got a good one for you this week. I'm excited about this one. Obviously I was in Milwaukee a few weeks back, but this one is with Russ Klisch from Lakefront Brewery out in Milwaukee, obviously. Man, what a fun just weekend that was, but I mean, what an awesome brewery that they have out there. And man, it was just cool. Like, we got to, record in the little chalet that they have. So, I mean, it was, man, some of my really cool stories obviously came out of this interview, and it was just so fun. So, Russ, man, thank you. I'm so appreciative that you let me come down there, and just get to hear your story, man, and enjoy some cheese curds and giving me a tour of the building. And man, I don't want to give anything away, but it was just really, really, really cool. Hearing everything. I'll say one thing. So one of the things that we talked about and he does for the employees, it's called the My Turn series. You know what? I don't want to it's just really cool. I don't want to give anything away. I'm just super stoked for you guys to listen to it. But it was really there was so much that I learned, talking to him, and obviously being around in the industry as long as they have. It's just, it's unheard of nowadays. And it goes to show, if you build that trust with the community, and, if you make a quality product, people are going to keep coming, and there's just such, obviously being in Milwaukee, there's you have such a great history when it comes to beer there. So, man, it was just really cool. It was really fun. And, I'm just super grateful, obviously. And can't wait for you guys to listen to it. Let's see. College football playoff. I got to put my foot in my mouth here. Or I got my foot in my mouth from last week, because here's what I'll say about the Miami-Ohio State game. Ohio State just looked like they were asleep. It felt like in the first half, and, they just looked stagnant in the second half. And that's not the Ohio State team we saw all year. Kudos to Miami. Miami pulled it out. So I got to give it to them. But yeah, Ohio State just I don't know what happened to the chip on their shoulder Ohio State kind of thing. And yeah, it was just weird. It was weird seeing all that, but yeah, it is what it is. And then we had Oregon dismantled A&M, which I didn't see coming. I don't know if Texas Tech. Good night, Mike. Jeez. Yeah, Texas Tech. I thought for sure Texas Tech would score some points, especially on Oregon's defense. But again, I mean, last year, we had three, the top four seeds, get knocked out, after the bye. And this year we saw three of them. But man, Indiana just puts a shellacking. I don't know if shellackin's a word, but they put it on Alabama. Now watching that game, I was like, holy shit. But man, Indiana looks, I don't know, they might be unbeatable. Who knows? But they look so good. And I can't wait for Thursday and Friday for the next games. And then we had the late game with Georgia and Ole Miss. And, it's tough to beat the same team twice. And Ole Miss proved that. I mean, even Georgia, played well. So did Ole Miss. You got to give it to both of them. But Ole Miss pulled it out. And could Ole Miss be that Cinderella story? Who knows? But yeah, it's going to be good. So we got Thursday night is Miami and Ole Miss. I don't know what the spread is on that game just yet. I haven't seen it. But then we got Oregon and Indiana. Indiana favored by 4. So we'll see, man. That matchup in the Big Ten, we'll see how that goes. But it should be good. It should be really, really good. Let's see. What else we got this week? Oh, this coming Sunday, I will be recording at Salty Bear Brewing out in Costa Mesa. And then trying to set something up with my boy, Ricky Rivera, to talk about Mexican Monk. So we can do that. Also got some other irons in the fire. Got some stuff coming up. I'm going to record something with Kate Bernat soon. Just trying to figure out a date that we can do that during the week. But yeah, so we got some stuff coming up. Looking forward to that. But yeah, I think that's all I got for the intro. My abs are crushing it, just crushing it. I'm just kidding. No, they're playing really good hockey right now. Just knock on wood, stay healthy. Let's see, the NFL this is the last week of the season. We got the Seahawks and the Niners. I'm recording this on a Saturday, so they are playing tonight. We'll see what happens when this is out. But yeah, it's going to be good. NFL playoffs, a wild card starting the week after. Let's get after it. The Packers could either play the Bears or I think they said the Bears or the Eagles. I don't know. We'll see. But it should be good. Got to love the NFL. Like the playoffs, it's always a wild one. So we'll see what happens for wild card weekend. All right. Well, I'm going to shut up now. Oh, before I shut up, if you guys can, anybody listening, if you go on Spotify or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple for that matter, or Prime or wherever you're listening, but if you're listening on Spotify, if you can rate the show, give it 5 stars, it always helps. It puts the show in front of more eyeballs. You can also turn on the notification and follow the show so it'll let you know when a new episode is out. You can also do the same thing on Apple Podcasts. I mean, or if you wanted to leave a review, you don't have to write anything. You could just do a 5-star review. I appreciate it. It's always helpful because, like I said, the more stars we get, well, the more ratings we get, the more eyeballs it puts in front of people. So, and the more people that listen, maybe it gets more people out to more craft breweries, and we keep this thing going. So, all right, now I'm going to shut up. All right, well, hope you guys enjoy the interview with Russ, and stay tuned for the outro. Cheers. All right, guys, we're back in the tap room, and I'm your host, Mike, and I have a very special guest on the show today. It's Russ Klisch of Lakefront Brewery out in Milwaukee. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me, Mike.
Oh, glad we got to do this, coming out. I was like, man, there's a couple of breweries that I wanted to talk to, was yours being the first one, because I mean, I've heard nothing but great things about it. And then following the social media, I even get the emails, the monthly email.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm on the newsletter.
Oh,
so
great.
I get that as well. But yeah, I've seen the way your brewery looks, everything like that. I told you earlier, but it's probably the most beautiful brewery I've ever been in.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, man, we're having a beer. What are you having?
I'm having the IPA too. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I haven't
Twinsies.
So, cheers.
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 That's pretty damn good.
Thank you.
I like that a lot. You guys can that one?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I've been brewing the IPA for 20 years.
I love it.
And it's 20th anniversary of it. So you don't see too many IPAs that last that long.
Oh, yeah.
There. And so we're proud of that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of turnaround. But I mean, like for stuff like that. But tell me how you got started, man. Tell me about your journey in craft beer.
I guess it all goes back when I graduated from college. I didn't have a job. And so I moved in with my brother.
Okay.
And his birthday was coming up, and he wasn't charging me any rent. So I figured I'd buy him something for his birthday. And so he said he was thinking about making beer.
Oh, wow.
So I went out and I bought him a book on how to make beer. He actually read the thing.
Okay.
And then I remember one day came in with all these big buckets and hoses and everything. And said, I'm going to brew a batch.
Yeah.
And it looked about as terrible as you could imagine. Floor is sticky, everything overflowed on the stove. Every kitchen utensil was used. And I'm thinking, this is going to taste like, what?
Yeah.
He actually bottled it up, and it wasn't the worst beer I ever had. It wasn't actually bad. And I'm thinking, if my brother did it that good, I could do better. And
yeah.
So I did some beer, and he did beer. And we started entering a local contest, started winning awards that brewed more beer, entered national contests, won national awards. And, this goes right to your head.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we should start a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have any money back then. We went and talked to some bankers. I didn't understand the concept back then that you had to have money to borrow money.
Yeah.
and so we came up with this idea of starting a brewery as small as possible to lose the least amount of money.
Yeah.
We found an old bakery building down the street from us. And I remember going to some of the brewing conferences in the early days and talking to some people from Mendocino Brewing Company that they were brewing in 55-gallon stainless steel drums.
Wow.
And so I thought, we could do that too. Anytime you ever saw another brewery, they had some huge equipment and this and that. And I'm thinking, why couldn't you do that? So we found a bunch of old Pepsi syrup, stainless steel 55-gallon drums.
Wow.
And we cut the tops off them, and we started brewing and fermenting in them.
Oh, dang.
We found an old bakery building right down the street from us in River West. And we bought the building, put the brewery in the back of it. And we had 4 taverns within barrel rolling distance, basically, of us. It was an old Polish neighborhood we lived in. So that meant, there's a bar in every corner.
Yeah.
And so we found that, and we started December 2nd, 1987.
Wow.
And then we discovered used dairy equipment, started bringing in, bulk dairy milk tanks here and there, other used tanks, and he made them into brewing vessels. Back then, you really didn't have equipment manufacturers.
Yeah.
And so you just started to grow, and it's been 38 years of trying to improve it, trying to get another piece of equipment in and moving. And so along the way, we moved down here to the brewery in 1998, the building you're seeing right now,
Yeah.
what we're in. And we've expanded this one to where it is, today. And, along the way, we've been, to me, innovative in different brewing styles.
Yeah.
Being the first organic brewery certified, being the first brewery to basically brew a gluten-free beer.
Yeah, I saw that. It's a Pils, right?
Well, we got the federal to basically change its policy and what they considered beer. Back then, to be taxed as beer, you had to have 25% malted barley in the batch to be a beer. But when I talked to them at a trade show in 2005 in Philadelphia, the people from the ATF were there, and everyone had a friend that was a celiac that was in the booth. And I talked to him. I said, well, we can't do a beer because, it has gluten in it. And they all agreed. And the guy told me to write him a statement as a process. And I did that, and I sent it in, told them I was going to make this beer.
Yeah.
And they approved it.
Wow.
And it was 90 days, or it was 60 days or so later, it came back approved. And ever since then it kind of changed the definition of beer, where you could have something just lower off a fermentable category, which led to seltzers and other things.
Of course.
And so that was, to me, a big change in beer when they okayed and allowed the gluten-free beer to be made.
Wow. That's awesome. Man, and you, like I said, it's just an impressive facility, just looking at everything. And a great location right on the water. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we were lucky to get this. They were going to tear this building down if I didn't buy it.
Wow. Thanks.
We live in a neighborhood where it really wasn't the best part of town at one time.
Okay.
And when I bought it, the city basically almost gave it to me for free.
Wow.
And I needed a couple $100,000 just to get it running. And the banker I had for 12 years wouldn't give me the money.
Yeah.
Because it was the bad neighborhood and it had some contamination in the soil. But we got that taken care of, and we were able to move down. And so I'm lucky. We were one of the lucky breweries that were able to buy instead of rent.
Yeah.
Because a lot of breweries back in the, early 2000s, who went in, they basically went and did the same thing. They put a, low rent part of town.
Yeah.
If they rented, then the rent went up when the neighborhood changed.
Yeah.
And that gave them problems. And if you bought at that time, then the building went way up in value and you were able to use the equity against it to build. That's what I was able to do. Wow.
That's cool.
So, but yeah, we just keep on improving. I bought my brother out around 2001. And so I'm the sole owner. I think Ken Grossman and me, I think, are the only two that own the brewery 100%, basically. And
wow.
Of the top 100 breweries or so.
Yeah.
And so everything we make, we just put right back into the brewery.
I love it.
And so that's one of the easy ways we've been able to build. I never had to dish out profits to anybody.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. I wish it'd be nice if more people could do that, but it's just, the state of everything. It's just so expensive.
You do have to work your butt off in doing it. It's not easy, especially in the early parts. I look back and it's hard for me to realize all the things I did back then and how many hours you work and how you went just to make it go.
Oh, yeah. 100%, man. I love that. And like when you first started brewing, like, with your brother and stuff like that, were there like any other like local breweries, or were like even through the years, so like brewers or breweries for that matter that have just kind of like influenced you along the way?
Yeah, there's been a lot of, breweries that have influenced us. Being in Milwaukee, that was kind of like the capital of beer.
Yeah, of course.
At one time, you used to have Pabst and Schlitz and Miller when we first started out. And when we were building a brewery, both Pabst and, was on its last legs, and Schlitz had closed, and Miller looked like they were ready to pull out of town. And, we had, the ball team named the Brewers here. And we thought that, we best try to start a brewery.
Yeah.
And so, those people had an influence on me, just the fact that, that was the only royalty the town had ever known, was the beer barons that they had here. And I used to caddy at Milwaukee Country Club and also work in the locker room there. So I knew a lot of the old presidents of the breweries.
Yeah.
Had served them. as a waiter or caddied for him. And so, that definitely made an impression on me. But when we first started brewing, as I mentioned before, Mendocino Brewing Company
Yeah.
had a big influence on me because they were able to show me that you could do it at a small scale.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically got it from New Albion.
Yeah.
And so that was, those made an impression on me. I also, Anchor Brewing Company out of San Francisco.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
were the
yeah.
first ones really to make a European style beer in the United States here with local ingredients and everything. And they had their porter and their Liberty Ale, and those were, fabulous beers, and their Anchor Steam. And so those were, good. Also locally here, we had the Point Brewing Company, the Walter Brewing Company in Eau Claire, where I graduated from college. These were other companies that, made Bock beers and stuff. And, and you love those styles. And you saw, the smiles that everybody came to their faces when they had the new styles of beer.
Yeah.
So, they were important. And when I basically graduated and we started homebrewing, we started drinking a lot of imports. And I remember drinking the Liefemans.
Okay.
From Belgium, and they made a cherry beer that was just, fantastic. And we did one of the first fruit beers in the United States here too.
Wow.
Back in around 1988. And my brother did one of the first pumpkin beers, but because of drinking their beer, you realize you could do more than just malt, barley, water, and yeast.
Yeah.
So you could put other flavors or do other things to create it. So those are breweries that basically have influenced me along the way.
I love that, man. And I'm always, because like anytime I travel, whether it's for work or just to travel, I always try to find, like the local spots. I'm always curious about the local craft beer scene. And I mean, see, like starting this, in 1987, like how have you seen like the scene out here, like grow and, explode? Because I feel like there's a ton of breweries, like craft breweries out here now.
There is a lot here now. When I started, we were like the fourth brewery in the city. In 87. Sprecher was the big one. They started in 85, and he had some money behind him and got some decent equipment and capacity. So his beer was all around town. There was a couple of the brew pubs, Water Street, Century Hall, that was going at the time. And so, we came along, and we were basically an overgrown home brewery at the time, because we were just brewing the 55-gallon drums until we got a little bit larger along the way. And that kind of stayed this way for a while. And then Milwaukee Brewing Company came along in the 90s. And for a while there, it was kind of, we were kind of behind the rest of the country in amount of breweries. And around 2014 or so, it all of a sudden just exploded here.
Wow.
And so we have I still consider a good, strong, vibrant brewing scene. We have, depending how far out you want to go, it's somewhere between 30 to 40 breweries in metropolitan Milwaukee.
Okay.
That I would consider. And there's regional, there's tap rooms, brew pubs, regional breweries like us that you have. So they have a good variety of different ones, and they all have good varieties from lagers to ales. And so to me, it's a good scene. And I recommend, definitely checking out a lot of these other places if you come into town.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. And that's why, I love to see, go to all the different spots, because, there's some breweries out there that are really they're like, oh, we want to have the best lager program, or, stuff like that. Or we want to make the best hazies. And I love your menu because it is so diverse. And like I said, this one's really good, and I can't wait to try another one in a little bit. I was what style do you feel like gets consumed kind of the most out here?
Well, we are a lager town.
Yeah.
And that's what started. And one of the weird thing I tell a lot of people may not know is that, nobody had any money back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And so we ended up buying a lot of used dairy equipment.
Okay.
And a used dairy equipment you could buy for, basically, you could get a tank for $1 a gallon.
Wow.
Back in those days. And so tanks weren't that expensive. And then a lot of people went to old warehouses, which there was tons of, or manufacturing places. So rent wasn't expensive. And when you did that, you could lager a beer for a while.
Yeah.
And compared to, if you were in a a big city that, you had to turn to beer real quick. You didn't have that much room, and that's why you did ales. But if you had time, you did lagers. So like the first breweries that came out here all did lagers. Sprecher, Capital, they were the big ones. And then we did the same thing. And so it does kind of skew more lager around here because of the first breweries. And I think because the fact you had the big breweries that were here. But I would still say the number one beer being sold here is styles like an IPA, either a hazy or regular or something.
Yeah.
But I would probably say we're stronger with lagers. Every brewery has done an amber lager.
Okay.
I think like Sprecher, Capital, us, even now you still see a lot of the ales that come out are ale ambers around here. So we're probably stronger or have more of those consumed in this part of the woods than other cities.
Yeah.
But that's probably because, from our background or where we all started from. But yeah, you can find any breweries around here.
I love that. And yeah, you mentioned Box earlier. Like you just don't see those on menus out in California. But if I ever like travel somewhere, if I see one, it's like, or even seeing like brown ales, you don't see brown ales a lot, in California. But when they're done right, they're so good.
Yeah, no, it's very easy. I always tell people that if you drink two and you want a third, that's a good beer.
Oh, yeah.
And when I'm drinking Bach, that's what I think of. Those first two just go down so easy. It's like, I want a third.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I want to ask you about like one thing I was love to ask when I'm traveling somewhere is like, it's called locals only. Like, where should people go? Like maybe like off the beaten path. And then also, because I love hamburgers. So I'm always curious about where the best burger is in town, like local burger.
I'd go down to the Solomons.
Okay.
And on town here, it's an old Schlitz Tide House.
Oh, wow.
So it has a good brewing heritage that goes to it. The owner is a kind of a character in himself. And besides beer, he makes very great Bloody Marys, where he's known for putting basically a meal on the top of it. But his burgers are good. Everything's fresh. The buns, the cheese, the meat. He does it right. And it's also just a fun place.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say, check out Solomon's.
Okay, nice. And because I know it's like a big cheese curd. I mean, there's cheese curds everywhere. Is there like, do you have like a favorite cheese curd?
Well, I'd have to say ours.
Yeah.
But,
there you go.
But yeah, we started doing those around 2013. And I think, we popularized the cheese curd in town here.
Okay.
They were before, but when we got a lot of out of town people here, they really gravitated to it. And once we started doing it, everybody started doing it.
Oh, okay.
You could find them on everybody's menu at that time. And so, to me, we get the fresh curds in here.
Yeah.
And so it's the entire curd. We have a bigger curd than what other people have. And it's a little less batter on it. And gooey. And then when it's a bigger curd, you can kind of play with your food and pull them apart.
There you go.
And so they're fun on that respect.
I love it. Yeah, that's why you don't see cheese curds on menus up for where I'm at. So it's like when I can have a cheese curd, I'm going to order cheese curds. Well, because we were talking about Box and like the different styles and stuff like that. What are some of your favorite styles to brew and or drink?
When we first started out homebrewing, and we did a couple different styles, and my brother loved Anchor Steam.
Oh, yeah.
And the regular beer. So he started making the regular, amber Anchor Steam, a steam beer. And that's what he started doing. And I love Pilsner Urquell.
Okay.
And so I started to do Pilsner, so Hardy Pilsner. And so those were the first two styles. I did that. Then I also started doing dark lagers. I won a ribbon at the state fair, best dark lager in the state. That's one of the things that went to my head. But if you have our East Side Dark right now, that is our old home brewing recipe from from when I was doing the dark lager there. So those were the styles I was trying to brew back then, and I still love today.
How cool is that? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And man, it's like I haven't mentioned it yet, but that wall, like when you walk through this door right here, that wall with all the accolades, that's I'm sure, like, what was it like the first time you won, like, an award or anything? I'm sure the elation was just, through the roof, right?
Oh, it was. I remember the first time we really won anything. It was down in Chicago. The Chicago Beer Society had these beer tastings back in the late 1980s, where they would invite like 10 different breweries, and everybody would come to this dinner, and everybody would try all 10, and they would vote for it. And beer won one year, and it was just like you're on cloud nine.
Oh,
you couldn't believe it. It was like, gosh, you're going up against some big heavyweights here, and you're you're doing real well. And so, yeah, it's something when you win one at first, and it's still something when you win one today.
Of course.
It looks at it. It's really, shows the brewers are doing, everybody's doing their job, and we're taking care of business. And so to me, it's just very important to continue to enter these contests.
Oh, yeah.
And to look at it. And I just, like to see I'm really appreciative that all the people that put the contests on and how they run it and the professionality and compared to, when we first started out, we were kind of, back in the 80s, everybody kind of laughed at the United States at beer, but now everybody looks at it as, we're the leader.
Yeah, setting the
still
standard.
today.
Yeah.
So.
No, definitely. That's the next. This next little segment I like. It's called the 4-pack.
Okay.
So it's 4 questions. So the first question is, what's one beer that like never leaves your fridge because you're always restocking it?
That'd be the East Side Dark. I was talking about the old dark beers, lagers I had, and everything. And if you like 2, you want to drink a third. That's East Side Dark for me.
Okay, there you go. Next was question 2 is, this is clearly you made the right choice, but if you weren't in beer, what would you be doing?
Actually, when I started the brewing, I didn't quit my job.
Okay.
When I bought that old bakery building, there was an apartment above it, and I lived there. And I was working as an engineer at a company called Johnson Controls who made automotive batteries.
Oh, okay.
And I was basically a traveling engineer. And so there was 12 plants across the country making our Series diehards, interstates, Fords, Chryslers, Nissans. We were making all of them. And we were the largest battery manufacturer in the United States. And as I worked there, I grew up, went up, and I think I'd still probably be working as a battery engineer today or probably would have been retired maybe by now. But that's what I did, and I kind of fell in love with that one. It wasn't the only thing that would get me out of doing that would have been the brewery.
Okay, I love it. Next one is, you get to collab with any brewery like in the world. Who is it, and what style would you make?
As I was talking before, the Lakefront Brewery in Belgium.
Okay.
They make some fantastic fruit beers, and they were the ones that kind of opened my eyes to, you just don't have to brew with 4 ingredients.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of different things, break the rules. And I always really appreciated everything that they've done. They've always done it true to style. And, fads come and go, but it never affected them.
Oh, yeah.
And so if I ever could do a collaboration, with one person or brewery right now, it was them. I've had some other fun collabs we maybe can talk about too, but but that's the one I'd be looking for right now.
Okay, love that. What's a guilty pleasure you secretly love or not so secretly love?
It'd probably be fine bakery.
Okay.
The times I go to Europe or around here, I go travel any town, the first thing I'll look for is, where's a bakery?
Okay, it's a local bakery.
And I always try to have some sort of sweet roll or something in the center or the beginning and how it's done. And, they got some good ones in town here, but especially when I travel to Europe, like every corner's they got some fantastic ones there. And you can tell, the quality and the difference between it. But I always look for every morning, waking up and getting something like that.
There you go. Yeah, I feel like baguettes are like in Europe, like on every street corner.
They are. It's fabulous, and just watching everybody come in and grab them, and having that's their place instead of the normal large coffee shops here. Or whatever. It's just to me, it's a lot more fun, a lot more tasty.
Oh yeah,
and it's like going to the breweries here. Everybody's got a different style.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same thing there, where everybody, creates something a little bit different.
That's awesome. Okay, next one is any fun collabs, like or any like fun collabs you've done or anything. What are some of your favorites?
Oh yeah, that would be this last year.
Okay,
we did a collaboration with Hofbräu in Munich.
Oh shit, nice.
And we did the Brau Buddies.
Yeah,
we did. So that was fabulous to get to know the people from Hofbräu.
Yeah,
and to do that collaboration. Was something when I sit there when I'm brewing in my 55-gallon stainless steel drums, I would never imagine that one day you'd be brewing a collaboration with one of the most iconic breweries in the entire world. They probably have the most famous, bar and restaurant in the entire world. Everybody knows Hofbrauhaus.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And in order to do a collaboration with them, and that sold very well for us and was well received.
I bet. Yeah, and that's why when you said the Hofbrau, I was like, my eyes lit up because I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I've ever talked to any any brewer that's ever did a collab with them. So that's awesome. That must have been a treat for sure.
Yeah, they're kind of headquartered out of Milwaukee here.
Oh, okay.
Or they have a history of the guy that originally imported the first Hofbräu beer from Germany was from Milwaukee.
Okay.
And so they have a strong presence in town, but they have grown that across the nation right now.
Yeah.
So
I love it. That's great. This is something like you and I talked about a little bit off air, but like how like incorporating local culture into the brewery, and you've done that obviously a ton. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
yeah, I'm proud of the city here and everything it is, and I've tried to take every part I could find to put it in here. When you come to
Yeah.
our building, you said it was nice, and it's made out of Cream City brick. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have a Cream City brick. We're one of the few areas in the country that have its clay is Cream City or cream colored
Okay.
instead of red colored.
Yeah.
And so when you go around town here, you'll see a lot of buildings built made out of brick with the cream color.
Yeah.
And so the nickname of the city is the Cream City, and it's not because of dairy; it's because of the color of the brick.
Okay.
And so we have a cream color or a Cream City brick building here. It's an old industrial building. Milwaukee's an old industrial town.
Yeah.
So it has industrial architecture, but it's still nice architecture that they have. And so when you walk into the building screams to me Milwaukee because
Mhm.
from its history of manufacturing that we have and the materials that we use. There's a few other things that we have in the building. We have some great big lights that are above the beer hall
Yeah.
right now, and those were made in 1917. Frank Lloyd Wright was in town at this time. They look like a Frank Lloyd Wright light, but
Wow.
I've never been able to tie it to him, so that's good. We're sitting in a chalet right now from from County Stadium that was out here where the Brewers used to play, and that's where Bernie Brewer was. You can come and see that. So I incorporated that part into us. The food that we have here, we talked a little bit about the cheese curds.
Yeah.
That's local. You try to look at other local staples like pretzels, sausages
Yeah.
that we have here. We have Milwaukee's the largest German concentration of Germans in of any large city in the United States.
Wow.
And so a lot of their food and of course the beer that comes. And in Germany, there's a word called Gemütlichkeit.
Wow.
And it basically means, hospitality, or, when you show somebody that comes in, you try to, be as hospitable to them as you can. And we can also do that here. We're known for our tours. I'll credit my brother for starting the entertaining tour.
Okay.
When I first started doing tours, I gave the science teacher tour. I thought anybody just wanted to know about beer and all the enzymes that go into it. And my brother didn't know much about the chemistry. So he just gave out beer first and told jokes on his tour.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah. And everybody took his tour and nobody took mine. and so anyway, we try to show that too, with it. We have, the beer hall. I know the guy from Hofbräu House said, this is probably the most authentic German beer hall in the United States.
Wow.
If you ever go there, you don't get seated by yourself. You sit down and you talk to people at the same table and all. And that's what you basically have here. You have basically the long tables, and that kind of goes into, sitting people with others.
Oh yeah. I love that. And because I've always kind of equated this show to that. Like if you happen to go to a brewery, maybe you go by yourself and then you happen to sit next to someone and you end up talking for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's an important thing. And we don't try to have too many TVs here. Now and then you might show the game on the screen.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you basically, you come here to eat, drink, and talk.
Yeah. And that's what I feel like beer's always been about. It's just about coming together and and over a beer and enjoying one another's company. So that's great.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, could you tell us about the beer thing? The story about the beer that you got from the Brewer Stadium.
Oh, yeah. The County Stadium, the Brewers, the old stadium was County Stadium. In the center field, they had a chalet up there, and Bernie Brewer, their mascot, would hang out in the chalet. And when the Brewers hit a home run, he would slide down a slide from the chalet and go into a big mug of beer.
Yeah.
And when they tore down the stadium, they didn't know what to do with the chalet. And I called them up, asked if I could buy it, and they named a price I thought was decent. And I thought they would change their mind, so I ran down there right away with a check in my hand. I gave it to them, and I got a moving company, and we hauled it right out. and I brought it over here.
Yeah.
And I know that I've even seen the owner of the brewers even mention a few times, I wish we had the chalet back.
Yeah.
Because I know that they would have fun with it. But we put it up here. We're currently in the chalet right now, and we can rent it out as date nights. We get a lot of brewer fans that come on in here where
that's awesome.
You can come and have a meal. And so that's, a part of Milwaukee that we do. And everybody gets their picture taken in front of the old big mug, and the bunk's like, 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it's not a small thing. Everybody thinks, well, it's a brewery, it's a mug, it fits. And even if you don't understand the old Bernie Brewer connection, it's still fun.
That's great. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I know there's so many different, hops out there. Do you have some of your favorite, maybe recently? Because I know out in California, Crush is in everything, but it used to just be what HBC, whatever number it was.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with hops. I still love the old big C hops, the Chinook, Cascade, Centennials.
Oh, so good, yeah.
Yeah, they had a big IPA contest one brewery, Third Space in town here, has it every fall. And about 4 years ago, we won it with just Cascade and Chinook. And,
wow.
And it was, everybody's shaking their heads or scratching, says, really? These are the hops that are in there?
Yeah.
To me, they still have one of the back, like every other hop, it seems to be coming from those hops. But to me, it's kind of like an heirloom hop now. And you have the original flavors. Mount Hood, obviously, since we like lagers, I like that hop. Because that is the nice spicy flavor that just goes perfectly with a lager and balances it correctly.
Oh, yeah. I love lagers and pilsners too. I always love IPAs and West Coast IPAs and all that sort of stuff. But I'll always usually order a pilsner or a lager most times if I'm going to a brewery, just because if they do that right, everything else they probably make is really good. Yeah. Do you have a memorable or fun brew day story, or it could be a long brew day, or it could have been just any type of brew day or fun brew day?
We've had a lot of them. Sometimes when they break down or the equipment or something like that, but I don't know if that's not a fun one. I guess the best one I remember is, I think we're in the old place, we're about ready to move, and I had a friend of mine who just told me that he was going to get married, and I said, let's make a batch of beer. And it was New Year's Eve. We didn't have anything going on or doing, and we went over on New Year's Eve and brewed a batch of beer. And so that kegged up, and that basically was served at his wedding.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I remember that as probably one of the most fun things to do, and when I was brewing.
Okay. And the next question, I don't know if you still partake in a ton of drinking, but I was curious if you had a hangover cure.
Yeah, when you get older, you drink less, but you still get the hangovers.
Yeah.
But I for some reason, I've always found some greasy food and coffee or something that goes together. It does it for me. And plus with aspirin, if I'm on the road, you get the Egg McMuffin or something, and that seems to, with the coffee, and that seems to help set me straighter than anything else.
Yeah, that's basically what I had this morning, because I woke up this morning, we were driving from Chicago, and I was like, oh man, I feel a little off, but I was like, yeah, I'm hungover, but I can feel it in my stomach. I had some barrel-aged stuff down at Goose Island yesterday. That didn't really sit right. So I had a sausage biscuit with some cheese and bacon on there, and a hash brown and a coffee.
Yeah, that seems to get you going.
Oh yeah, and then another beer always helps too.
Yeah, the hair of the dog.
Oh yeah, that'll get you right. The next segment's called Taproom Tunes. So I'm always curious, what do you like? Are you still involved in the brew days, or do you kind of just let your guys do their thing?
No, I'm more of a desk jockey now.
Okay.
Than we have. It's been over 20-something years before I've brewed in there, but back in those days, it's probably more classic rock or anything that I would probably listen to. And back in the Stones, Led Zeppelin, the thing I would always be listening to.
Oh yeah, I love Led Zeppelin. Over the Hills and Far Away is probably one of my favorite songs. Do you have any favorite songs? I know it's a loaded question.
Yeah. No, that's good. U2, I like a lot of their music. I'm just blanking out on the name of the song.
Yeah.
I like Barbara O'Reilly from The Who.
Okay.
I like that. Tumbling Dice from the Stones.
Yeah.
So I know I should probably be talking more about that.
You're fine.
Okay.
No, you're totally good. This wasn't on there, but I always love to ask someone, what's your favorite part about the industry?
Oh, camaraderie.
Yeah.
Or just meeting people, to go along and talk with them and to people about beer. To me, it's, it's an art. It's a flavor. Everybody, it's, beer's a lot like music where nobody always likes one thing,
Yeah.
but they always like a lot of different things. And you really can't criticize anybody for liking something you don't like because
Yeah.
it's not what they have. It's like, well, it shows their personality when they come in, but and it's just everybody's happy when you come here and
Of course.
have a beer and to sit down and to see people being happy. That's to me is probably the thing that motivates me the most to keep me going here is that, I mean, like the event we have here today, which is kind of crazy with a bunch of Santas, but you see everybody out there just having a good time.
Yeah.
And, if you weren't here doing this, what would they be doing or where would they go? But this is, makes everybody happy.
That's great, man. I mean, and that's what I love about it. Like everyone wants to help one another. There's to me, it's the best industry in the world because like where else could you hey, I'm trying to dial in this hazing. I can't figure it out. That you call someone and they're like, oh yeah, did you try this or do that? And like, if you're talking about like wine, they're like, get out of here. Like, we're not telling you how to do this certain thing.
Yeah. And it's so, but yeah, it's just a fun industry to be in. And I'm glad I chose it.
Yeah. It's fantastic, man. Well, I said you made the right decision.
Yeah.
Next was if you could have one pint with any like historical figure or celebrity or baseball player, anybody in the world, who would you want to have a pint with?
I like to have a pint with Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
To me, he's it's just dynamic. You can talk from literature to science to politics to anybody, and he's like one of the biggest figures on all of them.
Yeah,
and what he's all done, and he's just an amazing person to have, and whatever drove him to look at all those things. And I never looked at him as I know he worked hard, but he wasn't like he socialized a lot too. So that's what kind of amazed me, was he able to do the socializing and have fun and do it and do everything else. And it was just, to me, it's one of the most amazing people in history.
Oh yeah. I mean, everything that you said, like everything you just said, like everything he did, but still, hey, he loved his beer.
Yeah, beer too.
I'm always curious, like back then, like what like those ales were like.
I know. I wish. That's one thing I always wanted. If you go back in time, even like in Milwaukee here, what was the beer like around 100-something years ago before Prohibition? What were they drinking? What did it taste like?
Yeah, it's crazy too. When I was a kid, I loved Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
So like I would watch it, like what was it called? Not Nick at Night. It was the TV Land, I think, but it was like when. Yeah, it would change to TV Land at night, and like that was like a show. Like it just made me think, like, oh man, like I want to go there and drink beer in Milwaukee, even though I was a kid. But oh, I love that. Next one, I know this could be a tough one too. Your Mount Rushmore breweries.
All right. Well, I was wondering if I thought about the big figures for beer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we could put Michael Jackson up there since he's not a brewery.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah,
as you get older, a lot of people forget about Michael Jackson. But I still credit him with raising the awareness of craft beer.
Oh yeah.
His books were amazing. I didn't know any brewer that didn't own one.
Yeah.
I didn't know any bar owner that didn't own one. I didn't know any distributor. I had one distributor who wouldn't bring a beer in unless it was listed in his book. That was back in the days where they brought a lot of imports back into town, into the country. And he had the style of writing where he just made everything taste so good.
Yeah.
Just by reading what he had and the awareness of people, and he got everybody out there wanting to taste these special beers and how they were different and the character behind it. And so once everybody started reading his books and had it, everybody wanted to brew.
Yeah.
And so he had a huge impact. Along with Charlie Papazian, he also was the one who led the charge for homebrewing.
Yeah.
If you look at any brewers back in the 80s that started a brewery or 90s, they're all homebrewers. Yeah. And they all started homebrewing because of him. There's other brewers out there, Ken Grossman. Yeah. I still remember, talking to him or at conferences back in the middle 80s. and he would offer any advice that you could have, or advice that how he screwed up and don't do this type of stuff. He was very open, and he's a guy that, it was relentless pursuit of perfection.
Yeah.
Where he did everything he could to try to go, and he didn't care what anybody else said. This is the way I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And still today, he has beers that are exceptionally, drinkable and fantastic. He's a guy that when I think about, drinking two and you want a third.
Oh yeah.
You could say that about any Sierra Nevada,
I love
Nevada
that
beer
Yeah.
that he had. Fritz Maytag, another one where if he wouldn't have done, bought that brewery and kept it going, a lot of other people would never have gotten into craft beer. He was the one who showed everybody. Jim Cook.
Yeah.
He's still kind of a carnival barker, but
yeah.
But he was still the guy that drove, craft into all the distributors.
Yeah.
And going out there and doing it. And I have a lot of respect for him and what he did and how he took the industry and done it. Kim Jordan's another one.
Yeah.
Where, they kind of helped show that you could brew beer and be environmentally friendly and all. And so those are the ones that kind of I look at back then as, did major influence on beer.
Yeah. I love that. And Michael Jackson too. Like not a lot of people like I've actually had a couple friends that won the scholarship.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's so helpful, and them being able to, to go to a different place to brew, like go to a different city or go to a different state if you wanted to, or go to a different, like I think one of my buddies went out to New Orleans because she wanted to go out there and brew it on their system at a brewery out there. I can't remember which one it was. Tyler's her name. But I think it's so cool. Yeah, I think like what he's done for the industry, and it's a phenomenal list right there.
All right.
One thing, you said about that relentless like pursuit, like of perfection, like that's one of the reasons why I love to talk to brewers, because you can win an award, you can win a gold medal, you can win a GABF or win at World Beer Cup or local stuff or anything, like win any award, but it's still never good enough. And like you still want it to be better and better and better. Like you're like, they said you can win that medal and be like, people are like, oh, this is the best beer I've ever had. And be like, yeah, but I kind of want to just tweak this little thing.
Yeah, it is. And I remember listening to a talk from Alice Waters one time, and she was talking about how she cooks at Chez Panisse and about how, everything is always about trying to find something better.
Yeah.
And looking, every time you do it, it's like you have it, you like it, but then what else can you do?
Yeah.
And it's so, that's what you have. And if you have anybody that's really passionate about it, that's what they do. And they think,
oh yeah,
what they can do.
I quote Shawshank on the show all the time. I say, get busy living or get busy dying, because you want to learn something new every day. You want to continue to pursue your passions and stuff like that. Because if you don't, like, what's the point? Like I say, find your beer at the end of every episode, because it's like, it's about going out and supporting craft and stuff like that. But it's also about finding something you love in life that you can't live without.
Yeah.
Yeah. And clearly you found yours, and you did a great job. Before we jump into the second to last question, I wanted to ask you, because if you could tell the story about all the employees with all the like the beers that you guys do for that they brew. Could you tell that story?
Yeah. It was about 2015 or so what started happening in the industry was a lot of one-offs.
Yeah.
And you saw, everybody before that had a flagship and you had a couple beers. And all of a sudden people would come up and say, well, we're doing this one beer. It's only 50 barrels. You got to get it now.
Yeah. Limited
release. And it's like, and everybody's buying them. And it was great. They had some great beers. And so I'm thinking, should we do that? How can we do it? And at the same time, every employee would always come up to me and say, you should brew this beer. This beer is what we really need to have. If you had one of these, we'd sell a ton of it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of put both of them together. And I came up with what I call a My Turn series, where we gave every employee a chance to brew a beer. It's all based on seniority, who's ever worked here the longest.
Uh-huh.
And I think we're on number 53 now.
Wow.
Where we've had 53 different employees brew their own style of beer. And we've had some interesting ones.
Okay.
Sometimes you get your, I want to brew a, nice Pilsner.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the last one we had, which is actually really good beer, the Aiden, I'll probably give you some of this.
Oh, okay.
But it's a smoked oyster rye stout.
Wow.
And so, you look at this and it's like the guy comes to you and says, I want to brew an oyster, smoked oyster rye stout.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, we'll have that one. We'll package it up and send it out. But it actually turned out fabulous, I thought. But
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah, we brewed that for him. He was very happy, and it was good. We had a release party last night. He had it at a local bar that he normally goes to, and
Okay.
it's kind of a combination of a wedding, high school reunion, work get together. All of his old friends come to it, and,
Okay.
and say hi, and they drink a beer with him, and so it's a fun time. We always buy the first keg from the bar, and
There you go.
But yeah, if you have a chance, maybe we can sample that one later.
Okay. I think that's so cool that you do that, like for your employees, because sometimes it's just like you may have like there may be a boss out there. He's just like, yeah, that's just my beer tender or whatever. But when you can get them involved like that, it shows how much you care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good to have all the employees. You always look at them as family here, and what you can do and all, but yeah, it's a great thing to have.
Oh yeah,
Brings everybody together.
I love that. If you could bring back something from your kid that's not around anymore, what would it be?
I don't know if there's much bringing it back as just getting rid of it, or whatever, but if we didn't, I would like to go a week with nobody having a cell phone.
Oh
For
yeah,
sure.
people would lose their minds.
I know. I used to go camping up in like northern Wisconsin, and it's like, well, you aren't going to be talking to this person for a week, and everybody just accepted it. So you can't get to anybody.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about the fact you got to look at this or you're going to be going back. So I guess if that was one thing I would change, it would be nice the fact that at least I was able to experience that for a while in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, a buddy of mine, when I asked, because this was a while back, I was thinking about adding that question, but I was like, man, I wonder about like what some people answers would be. And I asked a buddy of mine, and he was like, I wish we could go back to the time where it was like, all right, you had to be home by the time the lights went on, and the street lights went on. And I was like, man, you don't really think about that, but I just feel like nowadays it's like, and I probably sound old saying that, but nowadays it's like everything's just like, oh, I'm gonna like every kid's watching their tablet or anything like, which is not, to each his own, whatever. But like as a kid, like we were playing outside, we were, getting into trouble and probably trying to get our cousins to buy us beer, stuff like that. So, I mean, I just wish we had a little bit, some of that still. Yeah. Last question. And again, I just want to say thank you, Russ, for letting me come down.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
This is
a great interview.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's fantastic. Your brewery is amazing. I can't wait to see get the tour after. If you had to describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
Probably workaholic.
Okay.
I just constantly work. I mean, I'm like what Alice Waters said, just continuous, you never stop trying to think. You never stop of what else can you do? And you never stop thinking, what other event can you have here?
Yep.
That would be popular. What other beer can you have? And so that keeps me going. I should be retired right now, but I don't know if I could be. It was like, if it's in your DNA, you're going to constantly do it. And I would just switch to some other industry or something if I had it. So I'd rather just keep on. I'm going here, but it is. I still look at our place, and it's like we can do this, we can do that, we can do better here,
and you're still passionate about it.
Yeah.
You still love it, and that's. Like I said, once that passion goes away, then like I even said about the show, if I ever like get to the point where I'm like, kind of like, I really don't want to do this today. Because I mean, we all have days. If I'm hungover, I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be rough. but the second I hit record or anything like that, it just all goes away.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's days where like being a business owner where you'd be like early on, maybe like, oh, I got to do this or I got to do that. But then it's like the second you start going and it's, it's like, yeah, you love it. You love it so much that it makes all the other stuff kind of go away. All the bad stuff go away.
Yeah. But no, it's been fun.
Yeah. I really appreciate you, man. This has been great. Super easy. And it's nice because sometimes occasionally, like it's like I'm like trying to get people to talk, but no, you were great.
Good. Yeah. We can go see 500 Santas now out here.
There it is. Yeah.
Believe it or not, you'll get some pictures, put it up.
Oh yeah. And what are the cross streets?
We're on Chamber Street. We're underneath the Holton Street Bridge, just about a mile north of downtown Milwaukee.
Okay.
But we're between Pleasant and Humboldt.
Okay.
On Commerce, right in between the two.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Russ. I appreciate you. Everybody come down to Lakefront Brewery. If you guys are in Milwaukee or in Chicago, you owe it to yourself. You got to get over here to check out, Lakefront. order some curds, right?
Yes.
Order some curds and get some really great beer and just enjoy yourself while you can. All right. Well, thank you again, Russ. I appreciate you.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, it was a great time with Russ. I had a blast. And, hearing the story, talking about the My Turn series, like now I feel like I can talk about it because I didn't want to give it away. But how cool is that? Doing that for your employees, like, they all, because of course, like when you first start working at a brewery, you're like, man, I'd want to make my own beer and try to do that, And for him to do that, and like for the amount of times they've done that now, and it's like something like a tradition, they keep it going. I just think that's really cool. And then even hearing about like the story about, creams, like what do they call it? The Cream City. Like, I mean, if somebody would have told me that, not told me that, but just told me that Milwaukee was a cream city, I would just assume it had to do with obviously, the cows, the milk, the cheese, and all that sort of stuff because it's Wisconsin. But how, like, it was really cool. I didn't know that about the cream brick. And, even when we were taking the tour, they had the, I don't think I talked about it last week, but the Laverne and Shirley, like the gloves on the beer bottle and stuff like that. So it's just really cool. And the pictures of Laverne and Shirley. It was just super fun, man. And I can't say enough good things. If you're a Packer fan and because obviously I'm in SoCal, but there are Packer fans everywhere. And if you haven't been to a game, man, you got to get out there. Got to get out there, see a game, but then you got to go to Milwaukee and go check out Lakefront and, also check out, Central Waters, Milwaukee, and then check out the Miller Brewing Tour and man, just take in all that, have some good beer and take in all that history. It's just really cool. So let's see again. Thank you, Russ, man. I really appreciate you. It was such a great time and some great beer and great conversation and fucking phenomenal cheese curds. And I know I've talked about the space before, but man, that place and them having all the Santas there and being on that frozen lake, being not on the frozen lake, but right next to it, and you look out, I can imagine what that would be like during the summer. I would love to go back, maybe in the fall and just sit next to the water and have a beer. I think that would just be just amazing. And you know what? Fuck it. I might have to do that. I might have to do that for sure. But yeah, you owe it to yourself to get out there. And honestly, even just as you could be a fan of any team. If they're playing the Packers, go out there. Or if you maybe just go to Lambeau just to enjoy it and to take it all in, but then stop in Milwaukee on the way there, man. You owe it to yourself to do that. So yeah. Let's see, what do we got? Next week is the episode with Nate from Central Waters, Milwaukee. Again, that was another fun one. I can't wait for you guys to hear that. I don't want to give anything away, but it was a blast. It was a blast. And, I got to where I tried the small Heron and I was like, holy shit. That beer was just phenomenal. I have dreams about that beer. Beautiful, haunting dreams. Man, it was so good. But yeah, let's see. And then after that episode is going to be the Taps and Tailgates reunion. I was debating on doing a live one, but just me, or it'd be me, my brother, and my buddy Nav. Just doing an Instagram live one, but also putting it out the next day or that weekend, that Sunday. But I'm debating on doing that. But we'll see. Because then gotta make sure I keep track of everything, and it's it can be a little tedious, but we'll see. I might do it. I will let you guys know next week. And then after that will be the Salty Bear episode, and then hopefully the Ray Ricky Rivera, and then I will also be recording with Mike from Unsung for episode 156, because that will be the 3-year anniversary of the show. So it's exciting. Yeah, I think that is all I got right now. Hope you guys have a great week. It's been raining. It's been a rainy SoCal, the last 2 weeks, I feel like it's just been raining the entire time. So stay safe out there. No drinking and driving. Drink responsibly. But yeah, stay dry, I guess. But yeah, get out to your local brewery. And you know what? Fuck dry January. Sorry if you're taking part in it. I'm not trying to be an asshole. That just, these businesses need your business. They need your business. So yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I said, hope you have a great week. Enjoy some football, enjoy some hockey or whatever you want to watch. CFP is, yes, Thursday and Friday next week or this coming week. So, yeah, don't forget to support local, drink local, and find your beer. Cheers.